Durian. Durian is a large tropical fruit from Southeast Asia, also known as king of fruits, especially common in countries like Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia. It is instantly recognizable by its spiky shell and its powerful smell, which some people find unbearable and others find deeply appealing. There are 30 recognized species, at least 9 of which produce edible fruit. Inside, the flesh is soft and creamy, with a rich flavor that blends sweetness with hints of onion and nuts. Its intensity makes it one of the most divisive fruits in the world, yet it holds a special cultural importance in the regions where it grows. Durian is believed to have originated in Borneo and Sumatra, later spreading across Southeast Asia and beyond through trade and cultivation. By around 400 years ago, it was already widely traded and grown in places like Thailand and Vietnam. Early European knowledge of durian dates back to the 15th century, with travelers and scholars describing its unusual appearance and rich, buttery flavor. Over time, botanists studied and classified the fruit, sometimes confusing it with similar species like soursop. Durian was introduced to other parts of the world, including Sri Lanka and the Americas, though it remained mostly limited to botanical collections outside Southeast Asia. Locally, it has been cultivated for centuries, becoming a commercial crop by the mid-20th century. Scientific theories about durian's evolution, such as how its seeds are spread by animals, have evolved as new research emerged, with modern evidence challenging earlier ideas. In recent decades, demand for durian has grown rapidly, especially in Southeast Asia, and surged globally in the 2020s due to rising popularity in China, significantly boosting international trade. Jackfruit. Jackfruit is one of the largest tree fruits on Earth, often weighing as much as 55 kilograms or 120 pounds. A mature jackfruit tree produces some 200 fruits per year, with older trees bearing up to 500 fruits in a year. It grows across South and Southeast Asia and has a thick, green, bumpy exterior. When ripe, the yellow flesh inside is sweet and fragrant, tasting like a mix of banana and mango. When unripe, it has a neutral flavor and a fibrous texture, which is why it is often used as a plant-based meat substitute. Its versatility has made it increasingly popular around the world. The geographic origin of the jackfruit is not precisely known, although it may have arisen in the Western Ghats. The fruit was later introduced to Guam via Filipino settlers when both were part of the Spanish Empire. Early cultivation also occurred in Myanmar, Sri Lanka, southern China, and the East Indies. The jackfruit can become an invasive species as in Brazil's Tijuca Forest National Park in Rio de Janeiro or at the Horto Florestal in neighboring Niterói. The Tijuca is mostly an artificial secondary forest, whose planting began during the mid-19th century. Jackfruit trees have been a part of the park's flora since it was founded. Rambutan. Rambutan is a small, round fruit covered in soft, hair-like spines, giving it a striking red appearance in the family of Sapindaceae. It is native to Southeast Asia and thrives in tropical climates that related to other tropical fruits like lychee, ongan, pulasan, quenipa. Once peeled, it reveals a translucent white flesh that is juicy and mildly sweet, similar to lychee. The fruit is refreshing and easy to eat, often enjoyed fresh or added to fruit salads. Around the 13th to 15th centuries, Arab traders, who played a major role in Indian Ocean trade, introduced rambutans to Zanzibar and Pemba in East Africa. There are limited rambutan plantings in some parts of India. In the 19th century, the Dutch introduced rambutans from Indonesia in Southeast Asia, to Suriname in South America. Subsequently, the plant spread to the tropical Americas, planted in the coastal lowlands of Colombia, Ecuador, Honduras, Costa Rica, Trinidad, and Cuba. In 1912, rambutans were introduced to the Philippines from Indonesia. Further introductions were made in 1920, from Indonesia, and 1930, from Malaya, but until the 1950s its distribution was limited. There was an attempt to introduce rambutans to the southeastern United States, with seeds imported from Java, Indonesia in 1906, but the species proved to be unsuccessful, except in Puerto Rico. Mangosteen. Mangosteen is a deep purple fruit with a thick rind and soft white segments inside. It is widely grown in Southeast Asia and is often called the queen of fruits. The flavor is delicate, combining sweetness with a slight tang, and the texture is smooth and almost melting. It has been valued for centuries not only for its taste but also for its perceived health benefits. Mangosteen is a tropical fruit that reproduces through apomixis, meaning its seeds grow into clones of the mother tree, which is why male cultivated trees are not found. Its exact origin is unclear, but it likely comes from wild relatives in the Malay Peninsula and Borneo, with possible hybridization from related species. It has been grown across Southeast Asia, including Malaysia, the Philippines, and Sri Lanka, since ancient times and is prized for its soft, juicy texture and balanced sweet-sour flavor. Early records date back to 15th century Chinese. Record Inya Xinglan described mangosteen as mang chi shi, derived from Malay manggis, a native plant of Southeast Asia of white flesh with a delectable sweet and sour taste, and it was later documented scientifically by Linnaeus in 1753. Mangosteen was eventually introduced to Europe and the Americas, though it thrives mainly in tropical climates. It is commonly paired with durian, the king of fruits, and is considered a cooling food in Chinese tradition. A popular but unproven legend claims Queen Victoria once offered a reward for a fresh mangosteen. Salak. Salak or Salaka zalaka, also known as snake fruit, gets its name from its reddish-brown scaly skin that resembles snake scales. Is a species of palm tree, family Ericaceae, native to Java and Sumatra in Indonesia. It is cultivated in other regions of Indonesia as a food crop or snack, and popularly grown in Bali, Lombok, Timor, Maluku, Sulawesi and Papua. It is commonly found in Indonesia and nearby regions. The flesh inside is firm and crisp, with a flavor that balances sweetness and acidity. The edible pulp inside, often compared to large peeled garlic cloves in appearance, offers a unique flavor profile. Unlike many tropical fruits, it has a crunchy texture, which makes it stand out. Salak Bali is believed to originate from Sebetan village, in the highlands of Bali. It is commonly sold throughout the island and is a popular fruit with both locals and tourists. It is the only monoecious salaka and one of the few monoecious palms in the Calamii clade. There are more than 15 varieties of Salak Bali, with tastes ranging from sweet as sugar, Salak Gula Pasir, sweet-sour like a grapefruit, Salak Gedi, and sour like a pineapple, Salak Nanas. The fruit is roughly the size of a large fig, and has a crunchy and moist consistency. In some varieties the fruit has a slight astringent, starchy mouthfeel such as with Salak Gading. With other fruits such as Salak Gondok and Salak Gula Pasir, there is little to no astringency. The salak tree has been cultivated throughout Indonesia, and there are at least 30 cultivars, most of which have an astringent taste and are sweet. Two popular cultivars are Salak Pondo from Yogyakarta province, found in 1980s, and Salak Bali from Bali, Indonesia. Jabuticaba. Jabuticaba is a fruit native to Brazil, also known as Brazilian grape tree, that grows directly on the trunk of its tree rather than on branches. It looks like a dark grape and has a similar sweet, juicy flavor. Because it spoils quickly, it is usually eaten fresh or turned into jams and wines. Its unusual growth pattern makes it especially memorable. Jabuticabas have been cultivated in Brazil since pre-Columbian times. Today, the fruit is a commercial crop in the center and south of the country. Commercial cultivation of the fruit in the northern hemisphere is more restricted by slow growth and the short shelf life of fruit than by temperature requirements. Grafted plants may bear fruit in 5 years, while seed-grown trees may take 10 to 20 years to bear fruit. Jabuticaba trees are fairly adaptable to various kinds of growing conditions, tolerating sand or rich topsoil. They are intolerant of salty soils or salt spray. They are tolerant of mild drought, though fruit production may be reduced, and irrigation will be required in extended or severe droughts. 0. Jabuticaba trees are vulnerable to the rust, Ostropoccinia acidii, particularly when the tree flowers during heavy rain. Other important diseases that affect Jabuticaba trees are cancer, Colototricum gliosporioides, dieback, Rosalinea, and fruit rot, Botrytis cinerea. Ackee. Ackee, also known as ackee, or ackee apple, is a fruit of the Sapindaceae, soapberry, family, as are the lychee and the longan. Native to West Africa but closely associated with Jamaica, where it is a key ingredient in the national dish. When ripe, it opens naturally to reveal soft yellow flesh and black seeds. The edible portion has a mild, buttery taste. However, if eaten unripe, it can be toxic. Although having a long-held reputation as being poisonous with potential fatalities, the fruit arils are renowned as delicious when ripe, prepared properly, and cooked, and are a feature of various Caribbean cuisines, which makes proper preparation essential. Imported to Jamaica from West Africa before 1773, the use of ackee in Jamaican cuisine is prominent. Ackee is the national fruit of Jamaica, while ackee and saltfish is the official national dish of Jamaica. The ackee is allowed to open fully before picking in order to eliminate toxicity. When it has yawned or smiled, the seeds are discarded and the fresh, firm arils are parboiled in salted water or milk, and may be fried in butter to create a dish. In Caribbean cooking, they may be cooked with codfish and vegetables, or may be added to stew, curry, soup or rice with seasonings. Physalis. Physalis, from ancient Greek also known as golden berry, is a small orange fruit enclosed in a delicate, papery husk. It is grown and native in South America and other regions with suitable climates. At least 46 species are endemic to Mexico. The flavor is a balance of sweet and tart, making it popular in desserts and snacks. Its natural wrapping gives it a distinctive appearance. Some species, such as the Cape gooseberry and tomatillo, have been bred into many cultivars with varying flavors, from tart to sweet to savory. Nations including Colombia, India, and Mexico have a significant economic trade in physalis fruit. Physalis has been used as food for thousands of years, with evidence dating back between 900 and 5000 BCE among indigenous peoples in parts of North America. The fruit is nutritious, rich in compounds like cryptoxanthin, and can be eaten raw or used in a variety of ways similar to tomatoes, including in salads, desserts, jams, and dried snacks. In places like Hawaii, it is traditionally made into poha jam. Beyond food, physalis has a long history in traditional medicine across the Americas, with different parts of the plant used in various herbal preparations for both internal and external use. The plant is adaptable, grows well in different soils, and is typically propagated by seeds, though it is vulnerable to common pests and diseases. In modern times, its use has declined in some regions due to cultural and environmental changes linked to colonization and land use shifts. There are also unusual legal classifications, such as in Louisiana, where one species is mistakenly regulated as a hallucinogen, limiting its cultivation. Monstera deliciosa fruit. Monstera deliciosa fruit comes from a tropical plant often grown as an ornamental houseplant. When fully ripe, the fruit has a sweet flavor that resembles a mix of pineapple and banana. However, if eaten too early, it can irritate the mouth due to natural compounds in the fruit. Timing is crucial for safe enjoyment. Monstera deliciosa is native to tropical forests of southern Mexico, south to Panama. It has been introduced to many tropical areas, and has become a mildly invasive species in Hawaii, Seychelles, Ascension Island, and the Society Islands, although the plant contains insoluble calcium oxalate crystals, which cause a needle-like sensation when touched. The ripe fruit is edible. It takes longer than a year for fruits to reach maturity. The fruit first shows signs of ripening by the yellowing of its lowest scales. As it ripens, the starch that was stored in the green fruit is converted to sugar, giving it its sweet flavor. This mechanism is comparable to how banana fruits ripen. The strong odor the fruit produces becomes noticeable when it is half-ripe. As time passes and the fruit continues to ripen, the odor becomes stronger. After it becomes fully ripe, however, the scent deteriorates quickly. Monstera deliciosa is moderately toxic to both cats and dogs because it contains needle-like insoluble calcium oxalate crystals. These crystals may cause injury to the mouth, tongue, and digestive tract. It also causes dermatitis by direct contact with cat and dog skin. Black sapote. Black sapote is a species of Perimena fruit native to Mexico, Central America, and Colombia, sometimes called the chocolate pudding fruit. Black sapote is not related to white sapote nor mamey sapote. When ripe, its dark flesh becomes soft and creamy, with a mild flavor that resembles chocolate. Despite its name, it contains no actual chocolate, but its texture and appearance make it a popular natural dessert alternative. Black sapote fruit are tomato-like and measure 5 to 10 centimeters, 2.0 to 3.9 in diameter, with an inedible skin that turns from olive to a deep yellow-green when ripe and a pulp which is white and inedible when unripe, but assumes a flavor, color and texture often likened to chocolate pudding when ripe. Fruits usually contain seeds, up to a maximum of 12. The texture has been likened to that of a papaya. The ripe fruit may have the taste and consistency of chocolate pudding. Unripe fruits are astringent, caustic, bitter, irritating, and have been used as fish poison in the Philippines. Black sapote trees are normally found below 600 meters, but are not particular about soil, and can tolerate light frosts. They are sensitive to drought, requiring irrigation in dry areas, but are quite tolerant of flooding. The tree grows fairly slowly for the first 3 to 4 years, perhaps just 1 foot a year for the first couple of years. Later, however, it grows much more rapidly. Trees should be spaced 10 to 12 m apart, about 32 to 39 feet, the range in size of tree and hairiness of leaves, size, shape, seediness, flesh color and sweetness of fruit, and time of fruiting suggest that considerable genetic variability exists. Selections have been made and propagated in the Philippines, Australia, and Florida, USA.